Happy New Year, everybody. So I've got a 562 extra power on the bench today. We're going to put back together this nasty pig that it is. Crankcase is all cleaned up, nice and neat. And the rest of the stuff is butt ugly and dirty, and that's what it's going to be. Failure. We had a horribly seized. Yeah, let's take a look in here. Oof. Yeah, she's eat up. So that's beyond help. I've got a good donor cylinder right there. We're gonna try and keep costs down on this one. So our failure point was, where we at? The clutch side bearing. It got hot, not hot enough to melt the cage, but enough where we had an air leak at the shaft. So if you look here, that's polished where the bearing spun on the sleeve or on the shaft. So we're gonna put this back together with a little 620 Loctite. Look up the stats on this stuff if you've never read it. It's gas proof, oil proof, heat proof to like 550. It's some nasty stuff. Has like some crazy PSI holding strength. I've still got a Domar 7300 that I used that in a pocket that had spun, and it's still going today 3 years later. Pretty amazing stuff. And you can tell that bearing had enough play in it where we were actually making contact with the case. Now, bear in mind, there's just a gnat's ass of clearance in here, so it doesn't take a whole lot. This side looks fine. We're gonna throw some new bearings, new seals, new gaskets, the important stuff at this, and then say a little prayer that Mr. Carburation device is gonna be in good shape. And we'll get this one back together. I'll show you a few things along the way. All right, just got the crankcase put together, pop the top end on there, and if you're smart and you do this, actually it's probably, for those of you who built a fair amount of saws, I'm telling you, man, stop what you're doing, vacuum and pressure test it right now, check your handiwork, make sure everything's doing like it's supposed to. Because I had a heck of a time installing this seal. It's very difficult to get it over the lip without rolling the oil seal, and that spring will pop off. You'll have no idea. So anyway, yeah, there's a nice handy dandy tool right there. So one side's got the threads for the flywheel side, and one's got for the clutch side, and you just, it's a puller. You sit there, crank on it, and it sucks it right in, does it a really nice job. Man, okay, the customer did not do this. Old Rich Flag did this shit. So while trying to take this stubborn ass clutch off, I broke it. So there's a new one in the bag, and we'll move along and get this thing put back together without any more issue or incident. All right, made some progress. I apologize for not, showing you. We'll cover some of the things on reassembly right here. Husky just doesn't give you that much room to work, and I just can't make it look seamless in real time without it dragging on and fussing and cussing. So it's a good idea when you install the cylinder is to gently guide and make sure, let me get in there, that your fuel line is not tucked away where you can't get to it. And as you're putting the cylinder down, make sure you thread the sleeve right there for the throttle cable. Make sure that's in there. And You know, the fuel lines are super straightforward for the primer bulb. And then the other one you want to do is, here's the tricky one. Let me just get a little bit of light on that. So, damn it, you can tell I'm frustrated. Here, let me roll this hunk of shit on the side. You know, I think these are great saws. They are a pain in the ass to work on. They just don't give you that much room. You know, tucking this in. So with your choke lever, you want that to be in between. Jesus, the light's terrible today. I don't know why. All right, so there's your choke rod, the metal part that's sticking through the red lever. You want the spring underneath it, okay? So that way it's, when you lift up, it actually does its thing. All right, so that's the magic sweet spot right there. I know I'm overemphasizing this, but if that spring's not underneath the choke rod, this doesn't work seamlessly, okay? Let me collect myself. I think it's about time for a beer. I am calling it a day. Have one more issue with this that I missed, and I'm gonna have to see if I can't fetch one. This top AV right here that goes on the handlebar, this one is broken. So before I can put the handlebar on, Husky's nice enough so that AV spring bolts in right here. All right, and then the screw that tightens it down is on the inside of the handlebar, kind of like this. I guess it would be like, no, that's on the outside. Something like that. Oh, that piece is missing. Would normally go right there. Anyway, you can't get a screwdriver on it. If you want to tighten this spring up, you got to take the top handle off to tighten up what is absolutely positively going to come loose. What else can I say while I'm all bent out of shape with this thing? When you do put your handlebar back on, these are your handlebar screws. The two long ones and the stubby one goes in this AV spring. The long ones go into the gas tank right here, and then you must use the short screws, the short coarse threaded screws in the bottom, because if you get this mixed up and you run these longer coarse thread screws that are supposed to go here in the gas tank. I actually had a customer put a wrap handle on his, and it gets it close enough to the gas tank, or excuse me, to the oil tank, that when this flexes, it would actually get up on there and vibrate, and actually made two holes in the oil tank in the crankcase. That was a mess. I think we're gonna call it good. You know, there's no performance work done to this. There's, you know, this is just a stock rebuild, get it running. I want to have my saw back. We waited quite some time on this proprietary bearing, wherever it went. I threw it away. Ah, there it is. Can't buy that anywhere else but with Husky. And these were on back order for quite some time. And then my slack ass probably took like another month and a half to finally bite down the bullet and put this thing back together. So anyway, thanks for coming along with me. Happy New Year, everybody. And I think that's going to be it for today.